Dvaipāyana Vyāsadeva.
Aham. Myself.
Myself.
Dvāpara. I studied this great supplement of the Vedic literature named Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is equal to all the Vedas, from my father, Śrīla Dvaipāyana Vyāsadeva. Please repeat. At the end of the Dvāpara-yuga, I studied this great supplement of Vedic literature. Named Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Which is equal to all the Vedas. From my father, Śrīla Dvaipāyana Vyāsadeva.
From my father, Śrīla Dvaipāyana Vyāsadeva.
You could just give me 1 second here. Okay. So you everybody else. This goes for me. So now everybody can hear you. Hare Krishna. Can you hear me? Yes, you can. Yeah, we can see your bars moving. Okay. Okay, report by Srila Prabhupada. The statement made by Srila Sukadeva Goswami that the topmost transcendentalist, who is beyond the jurisdiction of regulations and restrictions, mainly takes to the task of hearing about and glorifying the personality of Godhead, is verified by his personal example, Sukadeva Goswami, or by his personal example, period. Sukadeva Goswami, being a recognized liberated soul and the topmost transcendentalist, was accepted by all of the topmost sages present in the meeting during the last 7 days of Maharaj Parikshit. He cites from the example of his life that he himself was attracted by the transcendental activities of the Lord, and he studied Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam from his great father, Śrīla Dvaipāyana Vyāsadeva. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, or for that matter, any other scientific literature, cannot be studied at home by one's own intellectual capacity. Medical books of anatomy or physiology are available in the market, but no one can become a qualified medical practitioner simply by reading such books at home. One has to be admitted to the medical college and study the books under the guidance of learned professors. Similarly, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the postgraduate study of the science of Godhead, can only be learned by studying it at the feet of a realized soul, like Śrīla Dvaipāyana. Although Sukadeva Goswami was a liberated soul from the very day of his birth, he still had to take lessons of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam from his great father, Vyasadeva, who compiled the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam under the instructions of another great soul, Sri Narada Muni. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed a learned Brahmana to study Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam from a personal Bhagavata. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is based on the transcendental name, form, attributes, pastimes, entourage, and variegatedness of the Supreme Person. Spoken by it. Pastimes of the Lord are executed in cooperation with his pure devotees, and consequently, historical incidences are mentioned in this great literature because they are related to Krishna. It is called Brahma Samitam because it is the sound representative of Lord Krishna, like Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is the sound incarnation of the Lord because it is spoken by the Supreme Lord, and Śrīmad, I think some got cut off here. Sorry. And Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is a sound representation of the Lord because it was spoken by the incarnation of the Lord about the activities of the Lord. As stated in the beginning of this book, it is the essence of the Vedic desire tree and the natural commentation on the Brahma Sutras, the topmost philosophical thesis on the subject matter of Brahman. Vyāsadeva appeared at the end of Dvāpara-yuga as the son of Satyavati, and therefore the word Dvāpara-adu, or the beginning of Dvāpara-yuga, in this connection means just prior to the beginning of the Kali Yuga. The logic of this statement, according to Śrīla Jiva Goswami, is comparable to that of calling the upper portion of the tree the beginning. The root of the tree is the beginning of the tree, but in common knowledge, the upper portion of the tree is first seen. And that way, the end of the tree is accepted as the beginning. Om Jnana Pramanandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshushmanitamena Tasmai Shri Guru Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Sapatamena Bhutave Swayamupadamayam Divantam Savadantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vanchakopa Tuvishcha Kripa Sindhu Vevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaha. So the verse again. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Purnanam Brahma Samhitam Aditavan Dvāpara-yuga Śrīla Dvaipāyana Vyāsadeva. At the end of the Dvāpara-yuga, I studied this great supplement of Vedic literature named Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is equal to all the Vedas, from my father, Śrīla Dvaipāyana Vyāsadeva. So it's very ecstatic to be here giving Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam class over the internet to all the Vaishnava devotees all around. And it seems to be personalized here when I'm right here with Ramananda, the internet Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Acharya. So it's very nice, so it's more personalized, but still I'm speaking to many of you persons, even though I can't see you. So Srila Prabhupada in this purport refers to the previous verse, how the statement made by Srila Sukadeva Goswami in the previous verse as the topmost transcendentalist. So yes, he was one of the topmost transcendentalists. And let's see if we get this here. Here it is. In the womb, we see Sukadeva Goswami was very eager to hear, or he was attracted to the transcendental messages. And he was so self-realized that he didn't want to be distracted from anything else. So Krishna had to personally come and tell him to come out of the womb. He's been there for like 12 years, was it? He was in the womb of his mother. So he came out finally. And he immediately left home. But I guess at that time he expanded himself into two, and I guess one stayed at home and learned Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam more from his father, as mentioned in this verse, Śrīla Vyāsadeva. And he became one of the greatest, transcendentalists. And what makes him great is that he's just eager to hear and chant about Krishna and his pastimes. And this was recognized by all the sages in the forest of Nadarashraya. Amongst all these great exalted souls there, he happened to be wandering through there, and he was recognized as the topmost. And that's very amazing. Sukadeva makes it even more relishable. Like the parrot speaking, eating fruit, it makes the fruit more tasty or sweet. So Sukadeva Goswami is reciting Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam to Maharaj Parikshit, and it becomes even sweeter. So here you can see Narada Muni's there, Vyasadeva's there, all the great sages are there. His father's there too. You can see him. So it's very wonderful. So here's a nice verse. Actually, this is a verse Srila Prabhupada said. He was listening to Sankirtan stories from the devotees. Her name is Mula Prakriti or something. There were some memory tapes we were listening to at breakfast one morning, and Srila Prabhupada asked her to come into his room upstairs. I guess it was in LA. And he said, tell me some Sankirtan stories, how's it going? And he was asking, what do you say to people? And she was like very enthusiastically telling Prabhupada that, all the different Sankirtan stories, and asking what people accept these books. And she goes, all kinds of people. Tell me, what kind? And she mentioned all different classes, different types of people. And Prabhupada said, and what do you tell them? And she was telling him what she says. And then Prabhupada says, I know what to tell them. And Prabhupada quoted this verse. They just tell them this. This Krishna Swa Dhamma Dhammo Pakate Dharma Dhyanadi Saha Kalonasti Drishamesa Puranako Dunodita. This Bhagavad Purana is as brilliant as the sun, and it is arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali shall get light from this Purana. So I know when I was distributing books in the airport in Denver, this is what Vice Shekha was out there distributing books with this, and he'd go up to people and tell them that. Sir, did you know this Bhagavad Purana is as brilliant as the sun? It is more often than not, they would take the book. It was pretty amazing. And you just quote that. So this is another nice verse. How this one particular word, Brahma Samitam, was in our class today, which here it's actually translated part as the incarnation of the Lord. It's like the essence of all the Vedas, like the thing. So why? It's the incarnation of Krishna. It's that nice verse. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Prana Brahma Uttama Sloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Nishreya Shalokasha Danyam Swasti Adhyayam Vahat. It's like 5 lines in that verse. There's 1, 2, 4, 6 lines in that verse. The Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is a literary incarnation of God, and it is compiled by Śrīla Vyasadeva, the incarnation of God. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people, and it is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. So this is Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and this is what the great transcendentalists are attracted to, the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, because it is mostly pure, and because Sukadeva Goswami was not attracted to anything in the mature world, nothing, he didn't even want to come out of the womb, but he was attracted to Krishna. So that shows you that Krishna, this topic, is not material, it's something beyond this world. So that's why he was so attracted to it. And here Prabhupada's confirming the purport that how Krishna is so pure and uncontaminated, and if we just associate with him, then we will also become pure. And Prabhupada uses these 2 words, antiseptic and prophylactic. So this is very nice. Prabhupada says here, to confirm that the Lord is always pure and uncontaminated, Sri Ishopanishad describes him as Sudham, antiseptic, and Apapa Vidham, prophylactic. He is antiseptic in the sense that even an impure thing can become purified just by touching him. The word prophylactic refers to the power of his association. That's an interesting word, prophylactic, that we use. Especially like if you want to go to India these days, you take like a prophylactic malaria shot or something, so that it's like a protection. You have this type of drug, that gets in your system, and it protects you from a disease. So in that way, there's different types of prophylactics that we can take. And here, this is our spiritual prophylactic. Just get into the association of Krishna simply by hearing the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam in association with devotees. So as mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita 9:30-31, a devotee may appear to be sudurachara, not well behaved in the beginning, but he should be accepted as pure because he is on the right path. This is due to the prophylactic nature of the Lord's association. So see, as long as he just stays on the path, we might, like they say, some devotees, we don't claim to be pure, but we're in the shower, getting cleansed right now. So we're becoming purified. Just stay on the path, don't jump the boat, just stay on the boat of this Krishna consciousness movement and be protected. So this is another part. I think this continues from the same purport. The Lord is also apapa vidham because his sin cannot touch him. Even if he acts in a way that appears to be sinful, such actions are all good, for there is no question of his being affected by sin, because in all circumstances he is sudham, most purified. He is often compared to the sun. The sun extracts moisture from many untouchable places on the earth, yet it remains pure. In fact, it purifies obnoxious things by virtue of its sterilizing powers. If the sun, which is a mature object, is so powerful, then we can hardly begin to imagine the purifying strength of the all-powerful Lord. It's so powerful. So we're so fortunate. Now we're hearing this Sri Damodara-ashtakam. There's one nice verse in there which confirms the point that we should always hear about Krishna. In the 4th verse it says, O Lord, although you're able to give all kinds of benedictions, I do not pray for your liberation, to you for liberation or eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon. My only prayer is that your childhood pastimes may constantly appear in my mind. O Lord, I do not even want to know your feature of Paramatma. I simply wish that your childhood pastimes may ever be enacted in my heart. So this is Krishna. He comes with his pastimes. And now it's all we want, to have them in our heart. And that's what the topmost transcendentalist is always eager to have that. You know, to hear that, to be absorbed in that. So we have that wonderful opportunity here during Kartik to be engaged. You can look at Krishna's wonderful pastimes. Even when he was a baby, you know, killed this huge witch, this demon. You know, and after he killed her, she, you know, assumed her original form, which is like huge. Was it like 7 miles long or 14 miles long? It was huge. This is Krishna, the wonderful Krishna. And people just become so ecstatic hearing about these things. And then now, yesterday we celebrated the Govardhan Puja, where Krishna, he shows such a wonderful pastime. There's so many wonderful benedictions just by hearing this pastime from Krishna. And we see how Lord Indra became purified even. He became, his true anarthas came out when he was, you know, become so proud in his position as, you know, the greatest demigod, or the most powerful, one of the most powerful demigods of heaven, you know, the heavenly planets. And Krishna, you know, helps purify us from our different anarthas. So even though they were offering Lord Indra these offerings for many centuries, you know, for ages, handed down through generations, you know, because Krishna said, and everybody just wants to please Krishna. Krishna just said, you know, this talkative little boy just said, no, just offer it to Govardhan Hill, you know, and then we don't need to offer it to Indra, just offer it to Govardhan Hill. So they did that, and this is what happened. Lord Indra became so proud, and Krishna, even though he was very powerful, look, Krishna showing him, your power isn't as great as my little pinky finger, my left hand. Look at that, just his little fingers holding this up for 7 days. Was it 7 days? 7 days? Something like that. Yeah. And then, so, you know, and then Indra, he was holding up this mountain, and no matter, look at all the lightning and the rain and powers, he couldn't even disturb one leaf on the top of the hill. Couldn't even disturb any little thing on top from his powers, because he was in touch with Krishna like that. Just see the power of Krishna. It's amazing. You know, we were listening to this pastime. Giriraj Swami was staying over our house yesterday. He came and gave a talk at the temple. And he stayed at our house and had some prasad and took a little rest. So it was nice to have association. And when he's eating, he always likes to hear something. And I said, what would you like to hear? So he said, let's listen to Radha Swami on Govardhan Hill. So I found it on the internet. I did it. I think it was 2011, he gave the glories of the program of Govardhan. And it's amazing, you could just see how the transcendentalists, the devotees, they're eager to hear. You know, Giriraj Swami was so eager to hear about this pastime. And then Radha Swami was so animated and so ecstatic, just like enjoying, you know how he makes the impressions, you know, like he was imitating the thunder and the lightning and all this stuff, and, you know. So it's like, it is so you just get into it. The devotees just relish this. This is an example we see today. Transcendentalists, pure transcendentalists engaged. And here again, look at this pastime of Krishna. So beautiful. He's the best dancer. He's dancing on the heads. Everything all right? Would you leave? Yeah, sure.
I'm so sorry.
No problem.
Oh, we left it over here.
Yeah. Oh, she's trying to call me. This guy. You turn that off. That's so funny. Oh, that's okay. It's probably my fault. We still on?
Yes.
Okay, I'll hit the play button. Okay, sorry, distractions. So look, another wonderful pastime. You know, we could just get absorbed in Krishna just dancing on the hoods of Kaliya. The power of Krishna. He's so powerful. You know, what to speak of the anarthas of this can be a snake. And then Krishna danced on every hood until he couldn't even maintain it. And he'd just take turns dancing wonderfully on every hood. Even the demigods would come and watch and learn how to dance. We were afraid to dance just like if it's not flat surface, or if it's, we don't have the right shoes on or something. Look at Krishna could dance anywhere on these slippery hoods of the snake. And and this snake finally, after getting lightning, thunderbolt feet dancing on his head, which to him were just very soft feet, that gopis are so worried about that, he might get pinpricked when he's walking in the forest, and, so his feet are so soft, but yet to Kaliya they were like thunderbolts. And then when all his heads were pretty much smashed, he became very humble. And due to the association of his devoted wives, they prayed to Krishna for his relief. And then he became a devotee. I mean, he was a devotee of Krishna. I don't know, Radha said something about how sometimes instead of riding Buddha, he'll ride Kaliya. He'll become his carrier. So that's pretty far out. Huh? Yeah. So here's another pastime. That's very nice. Shruti Kirti's here. He's giving all these nice classes, the pastimes of Prabhupada. And he was actually talking about this, these transcendentalists, like that. And one verse that we're given in the Bhagavatam was of Paramahamsa. It's another verse where the Paramahamsa appear. He's just interested in the milk, not in the water. So you calling again? Let me see. What do we do? Can you get rid of?
What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove right?
Yeah. Maybe she just can't hear it or something. Oh yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to just remove.
Well, she's on, I don't think she's coming on Skype. She's coming on FaceTime.
Sorry for it's a little interruption here. Barbara, you just call right back and we'll get you right in, okay? I'm going to add you out of Skype.
I'm sure this is on here.
Sorry for those.
Yeah, there's hot corners. Be careful.
Okay. That's it. Now you can take over from here. Everything.
So you can get it. Okay. You can get her back on Skype. Okay. All right. So here's a wonderful pastime, and Shruti Kirti was talking about how Prabhupada was so eager to hear about Krishna's pastimes, and they would be in the garden here in LA. What's garden? And they would be telling, and Shruti Kirti would have, somehow or another, he got the honor to read to Prabhupada the Krishna book. And it was amazing, he'd be reading these pastimes of Krishna, and Prabhupada would be so rapt, in the pastime, and, Prabhupada would laugh, and, even like, laughter to the point where he's like, when they would kill the demon, blood would be oozing out, and Prabhupada would just start like cracking up and laughing so hard that, he would laugh where he would be slapping his knee, and tears coming from his eyes, like that. He was just so absorbed in it. It was amazing. And he just said, "This is Krishna consciousness." Spiritual life is not like a dry thing. You just have to study, like the impersonalists. Everything's like real spiritual, and you can't really have any emotion or anything. But yeah, this is real spiritual life, where you can actually hear, read this. You can present your doubts. You could hear these wonderful pastimes. It's a wonderful pastime. And he's also telling a pastime regarding his Paramahamsas, where how one time there's this devotee named Paramahamsa Swami. And Shruti Kirti was massaging him in Prabhupada's room. I forget where they were, maybe in Caracas or Mexico. I don't remember exactly. But anyway, he said that, he was massaging Prabhupada. They're both sitting in gamshas, and he was massaging his back, and then Paramahamsa comes walking in the room. And they look at each other, and they just start laughing. For some reason, they make each other laugh. They're like really close, so they're friends. They just kind of, seeing each other reminds them of stuff probably, and then they start laughing. And they were just laughing, and Prabhupada was right in the middle of them. And they were just laughing and laughing, because Sridhar started laughing, and Paramahamsa Swami started laughing, and they just both laughing, and each other's laughing, and they're just laughing. And Prabhupada says, "What's so funny?" And then Sridhar didn't say anything. He thought maybe Paramahamsa Swami would say something, but he didn't say anything. Sridhar said, "Yeah, Prabhupada, well, just every time I see Paramahamsa Swami, I just laugh. He makes me laugh just to see, his face." So, Prabhupada said, "That's okay. Laughter is Vaishnava activity. It's very good." So then Prabhupada started telling his story, and it's kind of like, a little bit serious, grave, and saying, "Yeah, when I was young, there's many Paramahamsas used to come to my home, and my father would only pray to them to please bless my son that he becomes a, pure servant of Radharani. And then we would go different places, and we'd see Paramahamsas there, and they were listening to this, like Prabhupada's telling the story out of nowhere. And then Prabhupada and Sridhar was saying, well, what, why is he using this word, Paramahamsa? It's like, the first time I heard this, like, there's many Paramahamsas. We used to walk down the street, and by the Ganga, and there was so many Paramahamsas, and my father would give them something. He would give them different things and say, please bless my son, so that he becomes a devotee of Radharani. So it comes up to the, and my father would give them gifts, and sometimes he would give them ganja. And they're like reading, they're like listening. I never heard this before. So he goes, yeah, my father would give them this ganja because, the Paramahamsas, they would smoke it and it would help them control their senses. So, and they were like, wow, this is cool. And then they're like so rapt attention, and then Prabhupada says, yes, that would happen. But he said, yes, there's many Paramahamsas, and sometimes they would do this. And then he would look straight in the eye of Paramahamsa Swami, and he said, yes, they can do that, but you cannot do that, Paramahamsa Swami. And Prabhupada just started cracking up, laughing with one of those laughs where he'd slap his leg. He's just laughing so hard. And then Prabhupada just showing how, Vaishnavas they can laugh and like that and give a great lesson. Because Shruti Kirti found out later that actually Paramahamsa Swami, that was one of his attachments. He never even had like a girlfriend. But that was one of his attachments before he joined was smoking marijuana. So he said Prabhupada knew that, or somehow just knew, and then he gave him that lesson. So they were like, they were both like duped by Prabhupada. They were laughing, and then Prabhupada comes back at them and just comes out with this nice story. And gives a lesson that, yeah, we have to, we just follow the process of Krishna consciousness. We don't go on it. So this is, Prabhupada says, like nowadays, that's why I quoted some of these verses, how it's, it's purifying for anybody. We just had the Halloween Harinam here in Hollywood. There's about 500,000 people that show up to that thing. And the devotees go down there every year to do the Harinam, and it's like, people are in the darkness of ignorance. And it's amazing when the devotees come there, it is like the sun. And these people are like the walking dead. Look at these people, you could see. They're like the walking dead coming there. And because the devotees are there, they actually became like enlivened and happy. Look at this guy, typical walking dead. It's so funny. And the devotees are there, giving them all the names and stuff. So this is actually like, they're all like dressed up, but this is actually where their mentality is. This is their life. I mean, why do they do these stupid things? Come out there and dress. It's like dresses, ghosts, I think Shruti Kirti was telling the past them how someone asked Prabhupada, is there ghosts? And Prabhupada said, yes, wall to wall, there's ghosts. So just think how these people are so influenced by this craziness. So this is where it's, this transcendental activities are actually being spread everywhere amongst the most degraded. But because Krishna is very purifying, and prophylactic, that these people actually get some purification. Here's another guy who's depicted the walking dead. He was actually acting like he was like a zombie, like a dead man walking, and it was so funny. I wish I would have videotaped this, but I just thought of it too late. But anyway, he was walking. It was so hilarious. It was so funny the way he was walking and acting. It was just amazing. And then he even would fall on the ground like he was dead. So these are like the walking dead happening. But look at the devotees. They're so enlivened and so, just graphically and visually shows this, just a typical example of what it is really like, even though it's like a show here. And we had all these transcendental devotees giving this Harinam Sankirtan. Or Hari might recognize somebody here. And it's I forget her name now.
Deva and
Yeah. So this is their transcendental, and they were not only chanting and dancing, but look at this, they're distributing books. People, this Shastrakrit, this man has a sign of self-realization in his hand, and he's preaching to them. Look at this guy; he's happy to get the Bhagavatam. Signs of self-realization. So just see, in the darkest places of ignorance, this Bhagavatam, look at this, let's get into it so animated. Opening the Bhagavad Gita, seeing that, I'm chanting. And look at that, they even get into the dancing and chanting. They actually become alive. It was amazing. When we were there, you could see people come by and they would just really get into it. Their spirit would start to come and they'd even act out more and more of what they're trying to represent and just walk around. Then I noticed after the devotees left, they just kind of it just seemed like everything just turned just turned dark. And they're back in again. So they're actually reading. Sitting there just reading some of the books devotees are distributing.
Nice.
And she was just stopping the man in their tracks and just saying, "Hey, wake up." And she gave him a book actually. And here she was just bouncing from one person to another, giving books. Very nice. Transcendental distribution. Here's another walking dead. Just coming from the ashes. Coming in touch with the Bhagavatam is actually, just by touching this book, Prabhupada said, you become purified. What to speak of, like he said, they read one line, one word, one letter, they become purified. So here's a nice devotee, Bhakta from Arizona. He's actually was distributing a lot of books and preaching to these people out there sitting down and they're listening, discussing Krishna consciousness in the most ungodly place. It's nice. There you are. It's very enthusiastic. Devotees just giving Krishna consciousness, this topmost thing. Devotees dancing and chanting. And then this Govardhan Leela is taken to everyone. We every evening there's a program in someone's home of this Govardhan Leela. This Govardhan, and they sing the Dhammadastakam prayers. And here's one nice one of our members. They prepared over 230 preps.
Wow.
Amazing good, amazing nice Bengali prasadam. And there's a little Govardhan here on the bottom left. So the devotees are there chanting. There was probably 200 or 300 people there.
Wow.
Very nice. Oh, this is out of focus. I couldn't tell at first. But yeah, there's some really nice deities, Radha Krishna deities there, and all kinds of little deities. The hill. And then also we celebrated yesterday. Giriraj Swami was here. He gave a nice transcendental talk. And you can see this is going on even today. Thousands of years ago it was done. Krishna suggested that they do this instead of to Indra. And now they're still offering food to Krishna. And hearing the same pastime. And seeing Krishna. And all the food that's offered to Krishna. Very nice. And then Giridhar actually was here. He was a little rock from Govardhan Hill. Shaligram Shila. Govardhan Shila. There was two of them actually on there. I think there's one there, and then there's another one here. See if that comes clear. That didn't come out clear enough. But it's very nice. This devotee actually has a Śrīla that looks like a finger. Krishna holding up the Govardhan. It's amazing. But you can't see that very clear. But here is Krishna, the supreme mystic. And these Bhagavatams, literatures, they're relished by the topmost transcendentalists, which are non-different than Krishna. Krishna includes Krishna and all his pastimes, and, Radharani. Looks like that didn't come out. There it is. Radha Krishna. So this is the light. The light of the Bhagavatam is like the sun. It's very purifying. It's very protective. Protects us in this dark age. It's like a great light. And this is what we're doing. We're offering this light as a symbol that we come out of this darkness of ignorance and gain the light of transcendental knowledge. And simply by hearing this process, it's a very simple process of hearing transcendental knowledge. Like that. So what time is it? It's 8:49. So this is what these temples, Srila Prabhupada has established as beacons of light here. So we can actually come and get enlightened. And from these forts, from these transcendental forts of transcendental knowledge, the soldiers go out into the most darkest places of the planet. What could be more dark than a Halloween party, celebrating ghosts and Buddhas and the Walking Dead. But there's many people coming to the temple, and they're bringing this temple to their home, as we saw. Having programs in their homes, they're chanting, they have their deities like that, so they can do that. And now, like we're doing right now, we could actually log in live to the deity programs, in the temples and listen, just as we're doing on Skype. We can see. So there's some nice classes going on in Los Angeles, and Shuchi Kirti is giving some nice pastimes. And on Prabhupada's disappearance day coming up, what is it, on Wednesday or something? Wednesday. Yeah, so I think in the evening they're going to probably be giving some talks, some Prabhupada disciples, Shuchi Kirti. So if you want to log in, probably around 7 p.m. here. So anyway, maybe Ramananda is here, and maybe he can also come in and give us some insight, since he is right here next to me in my office. You can hear from Ramananda Prabhu. Put him on the spot. No. But anyway.
No, but I have unmuted everybody. We've lost our people on pre-conferencing, but looks like pretty much everybody is here and start meeting, and we have 2 or 3 people over in Skype right now. So, Prabhu, if anybody has any questions or comments, we should be able to hear you. I'm kind of across the room. I hope you can hear me. Anybody have anything they would like to add or ask?
Well, just a little comment. We had a very similar experience in Waikiki during Halloween. It was just absolutely amazing. It just as Goda was describing, that it was just like Walking Dead people, and but yet they were, for some reason, it was like a window, some transcendental window, where as soon as they came around the Sankirtan party, they became alive. It's like the exact opposite happened. They were dead. Now they become alive. They start dancing and trying to chant with us, and very high fives and hugging and all kinds of positive, wonderful stuff. I mean, I was saying that I thought it was like the most ecstatic interaction with the public all year. In one sense, even more so than Rath Yatra. In Rath Yatra, they just kind of look in amazement as Jagannath goes by, and they become so purified by his blessings. But they really become interactive for some reason. Maybe they're just so intoxicated. I don't know. But I think I look forward to Halloween more so than any of our quote unquote festivals or interaction with the public. It's a great opportunity for us. I can't wait till next year.
Yeah, it's great. Very nice. Yeah, as later as it gets, the more I think intoxicated and demoniac they become. But when we left about 9:30, 10, it just started like we just like Kali just engulfed, and just people just packed to the max.
That's interesting. At the same time we left, we stayed till about 10 o'clock before it got too demoniac, and also we wanted to get back so we could get to bed at a somewhat reasonable hour so we could get up and do our sadhana the next morning, which is most important. But yeah, it was a very, very similar experience. It was getting kind of heavier and heavier and crazier, and at a certain point before Tamasgun really started peaking out, we sort of was that verse, Yani Shah Sarvabhutana Tasyang Jagarti Sangyami Yasyang Jagarti Sangyami Sani Shah Pashatomune. Just when they're awakening and becoming more alive in their most demoniac sense, that's when the sages go to sleep. And then when they finally go to sleep, to sleep off their intoxication, that's when we're getting up and chanting the holy name, exact opposite.
Yeah, I forgot to put a picture on here, actually. We had a little picture of Damodar and the little deity of Damodar out there on the, on the sidewalk there on one of the, like a place where they have like a planter. We set it up there and we had little candles, and they were getting all the people come and offer candles.
Wow.
And they were into it.
Really?
They said, offer a light for world peace and, spirituality and everything. They said, oh yeah, we do that. Wow. So they're coming and they're stopping people. There was this really nice Muslim couple. I actually didn't put that picture up here either. That Shastrika gave a book to, and it was nice. They gave a nice donation, and then they came over and offered a candle too. It was really cool. So that's nice. They started doing that last year, and this was the second year they did that, and people really get into it. It's very nice. So they get to offer the light.
Gaudacandra, I have I was going to ask you, I picked out one sentence here that I thought that was really important in the purport, and I was hoping you could elaborate on it.
Okay.
It says that at the beginning of the book, it stated that the essence of Vedic literature is the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the Vedic desire tree. It's the essence, and it's a natural commentary on the Brahma Sutras, which are the topmost philosophical thesis on Brahman. So could you elaborate on that? I think that's packed with very important points.
Yeah, it's like just a drop of water in the ocean here. It's so much there is included. But yeah, I mean, Prabhupada says, it's the essence of Vedic desire tree. Yeah, that part got cut off a little bit on the end, but you can still read it. Yeah, and the natural commentation on the Brahma Sutras, topmost philosophical thesis of the subject matter of Brahman.
Can you elaborate on what it's meant by a natural commentary on the Brahma Sutras?
Well, the Brahma Sutras, as Prabhupada said here, is the topmost philosophical thesis on Brahman. So it's topmost because nowadays Prabhupada talks about the impersonalists. They try to interpret the Brahma Sutras as just Brahman, like the impersonal aspect of God. But actually, it's just the opposite. It's Krishna. Is actually, as I read here, Brahma Samhitam. This is the word that he used, Brahma Samhitam, to refer to that, what we're talking about. Because it's actually Krishna himself in person. It's an incarnation of Krishna. This is Brahma Samhitam in that verse. How it's the literary incarnation of God. You see, and it's meant for the ultimate good of all people, to make them all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. So yeah, they're getting in touch with God in this way. The Bhagavatam, just by touching that physical book, just by hearing the sounds coming from them, it's out there, it's touching people and they're becoming effective. So you could just see from the example of the Harinam, it just really, people are getting affected, they're getting touched and getting purified. And also getting protected.
I'm thinking that nowadays especially, you see that people are getting more and more concerned about their health, and when they go into stores, they look for things that are natural.
Yeah.
So when you pick up, something, some spread or whatever, they've got 100 different ingredients.
Yeah.
it's just artificial, but it's artificial that. It's not natural. But when you pick up something, that's fresh and doesn't have anything put in there, preservatives and color and all that stuff, you say it's natural. It's a natural state. Therefore, it's healthy. Similarly, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, I think what's meant here is there's nothing extraneous.
Yes.
That Śrīla Vyāsadeva, this is what he meant by the Vedanta Sutras, because when the Mayavadi interpreters, they give their own slant on what the meaning of the Vedanta Sutras are. Because it's interesting that in the Kali Yuga, this is very new, that the Vedic literatures are open to anyone and everyone. You go on Haridam, and all these people are intoxicated, and you put in their hands the Vedic literature. This is what it's all about. You want to become liberated, you want to free from suffering, this is what you need to do. Whereas previously, only Brahmanas who were trained, they were able to understand the Vedic literatures, because other people may take it for their own purposes. So the Brahma Sutras were written in such a way that not ordinary men could understand that. They're very, very condensed. And unless you have the proper training, then you can screw out any kind of meaning you want. Although the meaning is very clear for those who are trained. So the natural commentary is a Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. It's a thesis on the meaning of the Vedanta Sutras.
Yeah,
that's my understanding of the natural commentary. There's nothing extraneous about it.
Right.
This is the original intent.
Yeah, Prabhupada says that's where we presented it as it is. It's genuine. It's pure. We're not cheating people. It reminded me, I met, remember this actor called Billy Jack? Probably in New York Times. He's an older movies. I met him at the airport one time. And he was kind of into, like, I guess, philosophical. He was like into martial arts. I think when they first started doing martial arts things in movies, he would someone to protect people. But anyway, he came up to me and he said, "You guys shouldn't be distributing these Vedic literatures because they're only meant for, like you said, Brahmins, and they're meant for people. They shouldn't be put in hands as people, as regular people." But I tried to explain to him how this actually is purifying. It's a prophylactic purifying effect. And people criticize also, well, what are they doing? They're just throwing the books in the trash, Prabhupada. Thinking that maybe they shouldn't be doing this. Prabhupada said, no, what can you expect? Kali Yuga, they're throwing their babies in the trash. Wow, to speak of these books. So, it's there. But this is the devotees' mercy. They're going out there and presenting these transcendent activities. And if people just get absorbed into it, they'll be, like enamored, and they become more and more pure, and they become more attracted to it. And like you see the devotees so ecstatic to hear about the Bhagavatam, so ecstatic to recite it. They get into it, so animated. And how Prabhupada was hearing the Bhagavatam, he was just laughing. Just amazing how he's just so absorbed in it. Is it ever fresh? Like that. So.
I had a thought with regard to people. A thought with regard to people throwing books in the trash. Of course, that's very painful to the devotees. But at the same time, like you're saying, it's mercy, and we're out there in the Kali Yuga. What can you expect? But think of it this way: let's just say 10,000 people threw the books in the trash, but one of those 10,000 actually read it and became a pure devotee. Then it was certainly well worth it. Now we know, I think the odds are way better than that. Most people will read at least a word or a paragraph. And a small percent will be thrown in the trash, but it's so well worth it for the benefit that is obtained by people getting these books. So we sort of tolerate that and go on pushing on Lord Chaitanya's mission and Prabhupada's mercy. Yeah, it's really painful, but it's worth it. In the long run, we lose a few, but gain so much.
There's so many Sankirtan stories too of people who get the books out of the trash. There's one story, I don't remember how it exactly goes, but it was something to the effect that this book in the trash. You know how you throw the books in this apartment building? Sometimes the trash goes way down to the bottom. So he threw it out actually, and then sometime later, I don't know how many years or something like that, someone other that same book, because it was signed by the devotee and he remembered it, came back to him. And he's like, wow, this must be a sign. And then he became a devotee.
Wow.
It was amazing. So it's transcendental, we can't judge a thing by, can't judge it. Well, who do we know? They just come into contact somehow or another with a devotee, they hear the name, all those people are making some advancement. Okay. Jai.
If I could just throw one more little story in here. This came from Vijay's emails that he sends out.
Yeah.
There was, it wasn't him, it was another devotee sent that out, but there was a lady that came up to him and saw him distributing books, and I believe it was an Isha Upanishad, and she was so ecstatic, she said that I have this book, and she explained that her husband got it years ago, and wasn't interested at all, just threw it on the shelf, and then years later she found it and she read it. So she was encouraging this devotee, says that don't think that what you're doing is goes to waste, and even if somebody that you give it to doesn't read it, then others really appreciate it. And then there was another lady who saw them distributing books, and he said, these are bombs, and he was shocked. Because Śrīla Prabhupada would call them transcendental bombs.
Yeah.
So the devotee said, what do you mean, bombs? He said, because these are such powerful literatures, they change people's lives. They shatter their conceptions and give them spiritual life. So it was almost like word for word what Śrīla Prabhupada was saying. She called them bombs.
Yeah. So just see, we're confirming why Sukadeva Goswami is such a topmost transcendentalist, because he's attracted to these books. He's not attracted to anything material, but he's attracted to this knowledge, and he studied it under his, teacher, his father. And so similarly, we have to accept this also through the chain of disciplic succession, which is very important. And we're so fortunate to be in that chain of Śrīla Prabhupada giving us this knowledge, handing that ripened fruit down very carefully from hand to hand, so that we get it intact without any adulteration or change. So, Jai. Any other comments, questions, realizations? Hope everything came through clear. Is that right? Everything looked all right?
Did you all hear okay? Was Gaudacandra sound good?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So thank you, Gaudacandra Prabhu. Tomorrow we have Ballabhadra Prabhu giving class after a long absence.
Jai Ballabhadra.
Bhadravala is got no excuse not to give class, so he's giving tomorrow, unless something comes up.
Jai.
All right. Thank you, Prabhu.
Jai, thank you.
Haribol. Thank you, Gaudacandra Prabhu. Wonderful.
Thank you, Godaji. Very nice class, as always.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm going to Śrīla Prabhupada.
Jai.
Haribol.
Haribol.
So we